Hey guys, welcome back to Bearded Lumber. I appreciate you tuning in today. You can see I got a big old forest pine log here behind me, and about 34 inches on the big end. I need to make some 1x13s. That's a problem. It's hard to cut that height-wise on this mill. So we're going to talk about how you work around that to get what we need out of it. So hang on, we'll be right back. Okay guys, welcome back. Appreciate you tuning in. Like I said, I need to cut some 1x13s. Now this is a big forest pine. It's actually the butt cut. It's not the best piece because they got a little wedge in it. I cut it down as short as I could, but still going to lose a little bit there. Now, why do I need such a wide board? I do not like to saw wide boards for a couple reasons. One, there's a higher chance of defects. I don't sell that many of them, and it takes up space. But I've had a lot of customers needing 1x12s for shelving, 1x12s for bee boxes, and you know, I hate saying no, I don't have it. So I'm gonna add some to my inventory, and we're gonna run it through the kiln, and it'll be here ready to go. Now, I want a 13-inch wide board. Well, the mill will cut 22 inches wide, no problem. The issue is the depth. The depth of cut on this WoodMizer is about 10 inches is most you can get from the top of the blade to the top of the piece of wood. Well, that leaves me 3 inches short. And that don't even include that the left side of the mill is canted in, so you really can't get that wide a board that tall. So how do we make it this log, make a 13-inch cant? Well, it's pretty simple. You take the top off, the bottom off, and then you start working the two sides in until you get to the thickness you want. Now, this is going to be a little more aggravating because it's a little on the big side and it's tapered. So what I'm going to do first is probably square the log up into probably a 22 inch wide cant. And then I'm going to start working both sides to the middle, getting wide flitches, there's no way around it, until I get to a 13-inch cant, and then I'll saw it top to bottom, and I'll get my 13-inch boards that way, as well as the flitches. I can run them through our EG100, and I can make 13, well, no I can't. It won't make but 12-inch wide boards. So the only 13s I'm going to get will come right out of the center chunk, or I can stand the flitches back up on the mill and I can edge them on the mill to be 13 inches. Now, I don't want a whole lot of them. I'm going to do one bundle, be 3 to a layer, be 45 boards. I'm going to make one stack to have over here for those customers that are wanting shelving boards, bee box boards, stuff like that. So if you've never sawed wood this big, maybe you hadn't thought about it. I don't think much of it because we do it all the time. If you've got a bigger mill, if you've got a 50 or a 70, you know, your cut depth is higher because you're running, these are 19-inch wheels where you're running 24-inch wheels, and the width's wider. So this pertains more to these smaller mills, you know, 15s, 20s, 28s, 35s, 40s even. This is how you're going to have to go about taking a big log to get a wide board. So let me get everything fired back up, because you can see the way I bundled up. It's first week in January. Guys, it's cold. The polar vortex is no joke. I was messaging back and forth on Facebook with some of my Facebook friends up in New Hampshire talking about 10 below. I'm like, nah, I'd be in the house. I'm right about my limit here you know, freezing with the wind blowing. Much colder than that, I'm gonna find something better to do till it warms up. So, be right back, guys. Okay, guys, forgot to add one thing there. I had to put on a new blade. Wasn't nothing wrong with the one that was on it. It was still sharp, but I've sawed 400 or 500 board feet with it, so it's time for a change. And slapped on a brand new WoodMizer Turbo 7 55 thousandths. We're running that in pine. You all know, for various reasons, the main one is speed and quality of cut. It runs through these knots like there's nobody's business. So probably going to stop sign this in just a little bit till I can get it to go through the head. I got it set up here. Let me turn the blower on and we'll whittle it down. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Had the customer come by, picking up some wood. We got two sides lightly cut. I got the third side rolled over. I'm taking the maximum width I can take, you know, going through the saw head. We're getting closer. So let me turn the blower back on. We'll make a couple cuts and we'll get it whittled down something that'll make some boards. Okay guys, let's recap what we did there. We started with a big, round, ugly log, had a lot of taper. You see me cutting all I could get off the top. I went around all four sides, and I've done enough of these to know when I made that last cut, there was no need going around again because I wasn't going to make any wider cuts. So I took the cant and I turned it up 45 degrees. Well, a little less than that the first time, took a cut, set it down, it didn't clear. So I backed out, stood it up 45 degrees and nipped the corner off and then set it back down, slid it over, and I took 3 or 4 cuts to shrink the size. And I'm shooting for under 22, because once I hit under 22, I know I can go through the head when I turn it up on the next pass. Now I didn't get under 22 on that first side, then I stood it up and did the same thing, took it down, and when I flipped it the third time, it'll be the 7th time, I was able to go all the way through the log, and I run it down until I had a square side, and then I rolled it over again, and that's the side that we're on. And I cut down until I got to a 13-inch wide board, because this end out here had a little taper to it. And I kept cutting and checking, and as soon as I got to 13 inches, I quit. Now we're gonna turn it over and we're gonna saw it down till it's 13 inches thick, and we'll go from there. So hang on, we'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, customer come back, picked up the rest of the wood they had. We was talking, I cut this top face down until I got it 13 inches wide because it had a taper on the end. The bottom's already good. So now I'm gonna flip the log over, do some math in my head, and you know, I gotta end up at 13, so I'm cutting an 1 1/16 board, so I'll do the math up from 13 and start cutting, and we'll cut all the way down to 13 inches. And we'll have us a 13-inch cant that will be 17.5 inches tall. So I'll get 16 good 1x13s out of this, plus say 6 or 7 on the forks over there. And when I flip this over, what we got here, 13. We might get 3 or 4 more off that side before we get it down to 13 inches. So it's a little complicated. It takes some thought process because the mill's not big enough to just hog off a 13-inch cant. I wish it was. It'd make my life a lot easier. I could flatten the top, drop down 13 inches, and woof, there's a cant. But this is how, if you want a WoodMizer, this is how you're gonna have to do it, because your mill's gonna cut the same way mine does. Like I say, the deepest part of the throat is 10 inches. Yeah, the most you can drop down, like right here, if I want to drop down and cut, 10 inches is all I can cut. And I got a problem with width because of this miter they got cut into the side of the mill. Y'all have seen this, but I'll point it out for the ones that hadn't. See, this is diagonal here. So your cant is sitting right here, and it comes up here and squares off. Well, this gets in the way. That's why on 40s and up, it's not there. They designed the head a little differently. Maybe they'll do the same thing for the next generations of 35s. There's a lot of strength here, so to take that out, they have to add a lot of strength up top. So if you're listening to WoodMizer, maybe that's something you do on the 35s, is square that out so that you can drop 10 inches and make that cut. Because right now, you know, I can't make it but a little bit. Sometimes you can cheat and move the cant out a little bit, but this cant's so wide, I'm gonna be bumping up against the other roller. There it is. So let me turn this over, we'll cut it down and be done with this process. It's not getting any warmer, the sun's going down. So give me a second, I'll be right back. Okay guys, we took that 13-inch wide cant, 17-inch, a little over 17 inches tall. We got 16 good 1/16 by 13 by 8 foot. Now I've got 10 more flitches here on the table. Now I could run them through the edger, but I'd be wasting wood because our edger maxes out at a 12-inch cut. You could stick a 20-inch wide flitch in it, but you got about 3 or 4 inches on this side of the first blade, and if you're maxed out, you know, you got what is that? Well, you got another 4 inches on the other side. So you basically get a 12-inch board out of the middle, and your waste to be on both sides. Well, that's good for wanting 12-inch boards, but I want 13s. So I'm gonna stack these flitches up. I could go through them one at a time and get a 13 and a 4 or 6 out of them, but I'm shooting for a 13-inch good board, so I'll stand them up and I'll cut 1-inch stickers. We always need stickers. We use them out now. So let me get these stacked up here and we'll go through them. We'll cut down one side, get them all nice and square, and we'll flip them over and cut the other side, and we'll wrap this project up. I count up how much board foot we got out of this log. It's gonna be impressive. So give me just a minute. Whew. Okay guys, that's a lot of work by yourself. I got them all stacked up there. Yeah, I had 10 of them. So what I'm gonna do is probably cut down to 15 inches because I need about 2 inches to take off the bottom to correct some of the deviations on the other side of the cut. If one don't make it, it won't be the end of the world, but it's easier with 2 people, let me just tell you. Let me get the mill fired back up. We're gonna run through here and like I say, whack them down to about 15 inches, and we'll turn them over, cut them down to 13, and this log will be finished, finally. So. Okay guys, welcome back. I hope this video plays good. It seems like I've started and stopped all afternoon. I've had at least 5 different customers come by. Apologize for that. I may have lost my train of thought through the middle of it. But we got it done. Sun's going down. We ended up with 24 1/16 by 13 by 8 foot long. Now, I also got 5 flitches over there that'll make 1x10s. They just wasn't quite good enough for good clean 1x13, so I'll still get 1x10s out of them. Now, figure the board footage on that. The 24 here was 208 board feet, and I figured it at an inch. I didn't add the 16th. It's 208 board feet, and those 5 over there will make another 33, so we're looking at 241 board feet out of that forest pine log. Now, Some people are going to say, well, you'd have been faster if you'd sawed one a little smaller. You're correct. I probably would have been. I'd definitely been faster if I'd had Matthew helping flip some of these bigger, wider boards. But we got to saw what we got available. Now, if you look out here on my pile, right out here, I think the one we sawed was the biggest one out there. It happened to be the one on top. It's the one I grabbed. It was the butt cut. The rest of them won't be as big as this. I won't have to make a stop sign out of them, but they all got to get sawed, and I just grabbed one. That's the one we started with. So, and I didn't mind grabbing the biggest one because this is the biggest boards I'm going to cut. I wanted to get 45 of these 1x13s. Probably going to get another 40, maybe 4 to a layer. That's 40, 60. I'll probably get at least 60. I may get 120 1x10s, 10.5s. Because I got a lot of customers like 1x10 board and batten, and then the rest of it will be 4.5, 6.5, 8.5. Just cut it for tongue groove inventory, move it on. Now, people say, well, you can cut that 13 out of a 14-inch log, 20-inch log. Yeah, you can, but this big log gives you something a small log can't. Now look at the grain on these. Isn't that gorgeous? Big, wide growth rings. This tree grew fast. We'll admit that. It's a forest pine. It's not a yellow pine. It didn't spend 100 years growing. It's probably a 40, 50-year-old tree. But you can see in that wide board, it has a beautiful grain. You don't get that out of a little narrow tree. It takes years and years for a tree to grow like this, and that's the benefit of it. We got some hickory out here. I can't wait to show you this stuff. I got a 38 log, people. Half of it's 15. I took my tape measure and tried to count the rings on this. They are so close together, my eyes can't see it. They are a 32nd to a 64th apart. They 16 sixteenths in an inch. 16 times 15. I won't even attempt to do the math. It's too late in the day. 16 times 15. That hickory tree is upwards of 200 plus years old. It is a monster. We're going to saw it shortly. Might be a month or so down the road. I just talked to the customers yesterday, and they're mulling over some ideas of what they want to do with it, whether 2-inch slabs or 3/4 inch tongue and groove or 3/4 inch hardwood flooring. But I've never sawed a hickory with that tight of grain. It is gorgeous. Got some red oak out here the same way that's come in, real tight grain stuff. We got some beautiful wood coming, and this is some beautiful wood. I bought it back in late summer. I don't like buying 8-foot stuff, but the guy called me. He was clearing a job. He had a small track hoe on the job, and he could not physically load anything longer than 8 feet. So, and I knew we was getting this motor planer up and running. I knew we could sell some 8-foot stuff. I do sell a lot of 8-foot stuff, but I prefer to get it in 12s and 16s or 12 and 17. That way, if I need to cut it in half, I can cut it in half. But anyway, let's get back to our video. The goal of today's video is to explain on a WoodMizer. Now, if you've got another mill, then I'm sorry, this probably don't pertain to you. But on a WoodMizer, you cannot cut a 13-inch wide cant by just dropping down 13 inches. It's impossible. The machine's not designed that way. So I went over how we take a big log and narrow it down to a 13-inch wide cant. And we ended up 13 by 17 and a half, 17 3/8, something like that. And I sacrificed a little off the top. I cut down to a known number, flipped it over, and then I sacrificed another 1/4 inch to get on my cut all the way to the bottom. So we got 16 good boards out of that. I was quite pleased with it. The log had a lot of taper. If it had less taper, it would have yielded better, but we didn't grow it. All we doing is sawing it. Got any questions on that? Please feel free to ask. I'll do my best to answer them. I get a lot of questions that if you'd watch some of our other videos, it'd probably answer them. But ask them anyway. I'll do my best to answer them. If it requires a long answer, I may refer you back to a video that's 20 or 30 minutes long where I cover that in depth. There's only so much I can answer on a text message. I'll just be honest with you. If you know me personally and you text me twice, the third time you're getting a phone call. Ask Matthew. He knows. He knows if he texts and I say yes, no, maybe, he texts again, the next thing he's gonna get is a phone call. I just don't have time for too much texting, especially during work hours. But I appreciate all the comments, and I'm gonna answer them best of my ability. Big shout out to the people that help us out, Matthew and Solomon doing our videos. There's just no way I could do it without them. Guys, you're watching, I greatly appreciate it. Get a chance, check out Solomon's channel, Third Beard Fishing. We're hopefully here, won't be long for us, about 6 weeks. We're gonna ride down to Florida, spend a week with Erica and Solomon. My Matthew and his family's going. My oldest son Michael and his family's going. We're just gonna have a big old time. Got well, I can't say we got zero plans. We do have some plans, but most of it's gonna be day by day. Here we go. You know, and that's kind of vacation I like. I don't like a real structured vacation because I may not feel like doing anything that day. I may want to go sit on the beach. I actually rented a house as close to the beach as you can get in this particular area. Probably closer from here to Michael's house to the water. So I intend on spending a lot of time on the beach or at the pool with the grandkids, having a big old time. And enough about that. I promise we'll try to make some videos while we're down there so you get to see Erica and Solomon and the grandkids, as well as Matthew's baby, Mordecai. Big shout out to Joe Maine from WoodMizer. If you got any blade questions, mill questions, you want to buy a mill, you want to buy an edger, you want to buy a sharpener, setter, kiln, anything, give the guy a call. That's what he's there for. I've repeatedly asked him, do you mind me giving you out your cell phone number? It's not a business line. This is his cell phone number. He said, no, sir, give it out. So his cell phone will be in the description. Give him a call. He's there to do business. That's going to do it for today, guys. I can't tell you enough. We appreciate you watching. This channel is all about you. I'm trying to teach what I know and what I've learned. And if I'm not hitting the particular subject you're interested in, drop me a comment and we'll try to cover it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back at the mill.
Thank you for watching. Here's a video selection and a playlist suggestion. Click here to subscribe for more great content. We'll see you at the mill.